I kind of dig the biases here that happen with the bonuses from items, where they way more heavily modify certain schools of stats more than other ones. That might not be always true for the rest of the game or not, but I get the feeling it might be. Because like your mental state, specifically your intellect, isn't likely to be actively altered and challenged and changed by what you're wearing, but the purple is your empathy stats, your ability to interact with other people, your sense of authority, and how much you blend in, or how much you get along with the cops, or other elements of like how your interpersonal relationships and brain stuff and stuff. So having that go all over the place as a result of your gear makes a lot of sense. So that's why we wear clothes and uniforms and so on, is these kinds of ideas. Then you get back to the physical stats again, where you get back to like our body and it's our performance essentially. And like, yeah, your musculature and your athleticism and your ability to handle strenuous tasks for long periods of time are not likely to be affected heavily by like what type of slacks you're wearing that day. And then then they get to the reflexes, like, but your ability to move around flexibly and quietly and quickly can be affected by your clothes. And so yellow stats seem effective, especially affected by your clothing again. So it's purple and yellow seem most heavily affected because those one of them is your mobility and one of them is your interpersonal relationships stuff. That's where your clothes and stuff can all matter. We might see exceptions. In particular, you might be able to find like battle armor that really increases your hardiness in some way or whatever, but you know, we'll see. Let's interact with this ledger again, because I never finished looking at the papers. We got a little sidetracked by the surprising kind of restart of the beginning of the game, basically. Browse white papers. They're not exactly white. They're yellowed in patches by sunlight and alcohol, and covered in dense blue handwriting. Ink escapes into watercolor patterns, reaching its tendrils across entire pages. The paper itself is checkered with faint red lines forming short paragraphs. Once in a while, there's a red stamp that exclaims, "Case files, commit to paper." The case files themselves are plenty. You count more than 100 sodden, crumpled up, earmarked pages falling apart in your hands. They appear to be sufficiently organized and extremely dense, if mostly illegible. What is in there? What are they about? Work, strife, poverty, the Jamrock Quarter. These are handwritten logs of investigations dating back to... It happened again, the screen changed again. It's now 1318, it's a bit later. Huh. The Jamrock Quarter. These are handwritten logs of investigations dating back to January 51 this year. The exact number is hard to estimate due to the missing pages and an odd naming convention, but there are at least 20, maybe 30 cases undertaken. Not completed, mind you. I can relate, judging by this shit. I seem to be much better at undertaking than completing. Logic. It's the middle of March. You have attempted 2 cases a week, on average. Reaction speed. What do you mean? Is that all? Reaction speed is arguing with logic, because logic's like, you've taken 2 cases on a week. And reaction speed's like, the fuck you say? Do you know how fast I am? That's it? The notebook is annual. It says 51 on what remains of its cover. A molten strap of cardboard. Everything prior to this must have belonged to a previous volume. In short, there was more. Is 2 cases a week a good caseload, Lieutenant? Huh? He raises his nose from his notes. 2 complex cases to undertake is a lot, yes. You really have to push yourself. I would not suggest it, lest you start making mistakes. So it seems like I was busy. Two cases a week appears to have been my load, Lieutenant. I'm not sure if I completed them, though. Ooh. He raises both eyebrows. That's a lot. I didn't mean to say you were making mistakes, by the way. That was presumptuous of me. I'm sure I've made plenty of mistakes. That's okay. He nods, then turns back to his own case files. We all make mistakes. He's gonna have so much patience. He has already with us. Inspect the handwriting in the files. It's inornate, nearly illegible, yet marching in orderly lines. Visual calculus. Pedagogical. Somehow. Brash. It must be yours for you to be able to read it. These are the lines of someone who has written by hand a lot and has developed a style only they themselves or you yourself can decipher. Interfacing. Your hand cramps up merely looking at the scribbles drawn, as if by some magnet, through the red checkered margins. Fast, but always straight. There was mention of a naming convention here. Yes, it appears you employ a, shall we say, robust yet literary system. Each investigation has its case number written on the margins, yet, still more tellingly, most are accompanied by a name. A title, one might even say. One that draws inspiration from Snoop fiction and vespertine cop show staples. Oh my, they're written in capital letters too. Yes, all caps. One is called The Next World Mural. Another, The Square Bullet Hole Murders. Square bullet hole murders? So the bullet holes were squares is why they labeled it that, I assume? Another yet, The Unsolvable Case. Excuse me? Bit of a doomed outlook when you start it by naming it The Unsolvable Case. Others appear more lighthearted. The guy is on a couch in an unexpected location. And The Murder at the Hookah Parlor. Yeah, nothing lighthearted like murder, but there's also a bong in the room. Wow. Even the rare article-free collapsing tenement. Murder features prominently throughout. It's going to take an effort to piece these case files together, but it can be done. Later, once you're done inspecting them up close. Kim, my cases appear to employ some kind of naming convention. You mean the alphanumeric? Officer, precinct, time of arrival on the scene? No, I mean a non-numeric one with titles. Oh, you mean the titular? Yes, so do I. In our defense, almost everyone in the RCM does. Why is that? It's a holdover from the early days of the RCM. Right after the revolution, when the organization had little idea how to do things. It persists in an unofficial capacity. Officers use these titles to refer to their work among themselves. I seem to have a case named The Square Bullet Hole Murders. Again, in your defense, I seem to have named one. He peeks into his notes. The man with a hole in his head. That was a real person. His death was real. Still, I named it that to amuse myself. Aw, self-reflection. He smiles. I pray his loved ones never find out. What happened to him? Rail spike through the head. He died. It was a workplace accident. I have to open an official case. Is there room? Let's count the pages. There is, for precisely one more. 15 pages near the end remain untouched by the damage. The checkered grid forms a structure of passages, breaking the case into subtasks to accomplish. Logic. Once all the tasks are accomplished, the case is complete. Commit to paper, using the pen Lena gave you. The tasks you've completed flow out of the kind green ape pen in a brash freehand similar to the rest of the letters. The wording comes easily. It's almost robotically simple. A language developed from mental rigor and simplicity. Inspect victim's body. Get body down. Interview the cafeteria manager. Conceptualization. It's not exactly poetry, but poetry would be out of place. Cross out the ones you've already finished. Ba-boom! Boo! Oh, look at my morale also going up, even though I don't need any because I'm a tiny stick baby who can't survive anything. A satisfying slash across the paper. Hey, you're done, it seems to say. And you. And you. Ooh. You're a swashbuckler with that pen, Harry, and it feels good. Feels like completion, says my interfacing. Things to be done, and things already done. The composition of reality. This is an extremely useful tool for a detective of the citizens' militia. Now all that remains is to name the case. Lieutenant, have you by any chance named our case? No, actually. Any ideas? What? The Hanged Man. The Furies are at home in the mirror. The setting sun. The setting sun and shit on a stick. Hang on a second. Disco Elysium original name. Yeah, Disco Elysium name was changed as a commercial move. I thought that was the case. When I was setting up the thumbnail for this game, I came up with other stuff. There we go. The original title of the game was No Truce with the Furies. Interesting. It was renamed in 2018, so a while ago. Apparently they started making it in 2016, and that was made in 2018. That name changed, and now the game's out in late 2019. The developer, Zaum, or whatever that name is pronounced as or abbreviated from, is from Estonia. So there's that question answered too. Way up in Estonia, by Finland, and Latvia, Lithuania, and Sweden. No truce with the furries. Furies. No truce with the furries. I should Photoshop that and send it to Bird. And just take it at face value. And he'll just think that that's a real game. He won't look any closer. So anyway, there's some kind of relevance to... Yeah, okay. But yeah, there's some sort of relevance to it being called the Furies at home in the mirror. Because the Furies were in the title of the game originally. But it makes no sense to me, the title. It's an interesting title, though. I kind of wonder if we'll dissect it if I name it that. The Hanged Man's pretty straightforward, but also boring. The Furies are at home in the mirror. Furies. Yes, well... It's obvious he doesn't like it. I don't know. I have to be honest, I'm not experiencing the internal strife that refers to. And also, he furrows his brow. Would it make it less poetic somehow? Just a normal case name, you know. Think. What would that be? A good, normal name. I'm meandering with the voice like crazy. Yes, yes. You know what that normal name is, but it's just so plain. Anything else, please. The Hanged Man. Great. That's great. That's actually what I was thinking, too. The Hanged Man. Good. Strong name. We have a very good name for the case now. More experience for naming the case. Alright. I did read the ledger. Oh yeah, I did say read the ledger, name the case. I just forgot because that was a while ago. I didn't get around to actually trying to read my ledger until like 2 hours after I originally got the ledger and was trying to read it. Technically we had more body inspecting to do, but also I got distracted by other parts of the ledger in a lot of ways. That was interesting. He flips the pages of his notebook. I'm going to call it the Hanged Man. It's good we sorted this out. I'm done inspecting. You don't exactly close the case files so much as distance yourself from the smelly papers. They're a little further from your nose now. Can I read the case files now? Logic 5? What does that mean? Oh, because Kim explained the system, so I got a bonus. That's interesting. What is this? I'm curious about this check. Success. Yes. You can piece them together using the alphanumeric code at the margin. It always begins with HD B41. Then date of initialization, then time of arrival on the scene, followed by the title. For example, HDB4 1120111700. The next world mural. Wait, HDB41. Weren't those officer precinct? Why yes, your precinct number is 41. And HDB is... Every last alphanumeric in the file begins with it. And these are your case files. It's safe to say HDB are your initials. Oh my god. I think you meant to say RIC, Raphael Ambrosius Cousteau. Huh. Those aren't my initials. I'm not feeling them. Feeling isn't really how the jurisdiction we're in right now. Oh, of course logic would say that. How long does it take to read a case? It takes about half an hour to piece one together, using the system you devised. Where did you want to start? The unsolvable case? I mean, I'm really curious about that. I'm really curious about the unsolvable case. But I can revisit this. Whenever I want to pass the time, I can pass the time in 30-minute intervals by reading cases. That'd be fun little pieces of backstory of our character, I guess. Browse the yellow papers. In the back you see a thin, translucent copier paper. Some neon yellow, some bright red, all covered in boxes, like marching armies. These look like official forms, waiting to be filled out. Then rip them from the binder and hand them out, according to the type of form. Hand them out? What? What type of forms are there? 3. The topmost are misconduct fines. The middle ones are the station calls, and the bottommost are field autopsy forms. Each is easy enough to make sense of. Conceptualization. You don't have to be an intellectual giant to do police work. Wow, throwing shade conceptualization, huh? Misconduct fine. A monetary penalization ranging from 20 to 250 real. Severe cases allow 1,000 real, but that requires special paperwork. The details of issuing these fines are spread out over the rest of the fields. Rhetoric. But they appear pleasantly vague. Wiggle room to use for our discretion. A cop's best friend, huh? Station call. These are quite sinister in tone. They give a date and time for the person to appear at the specified precinct police station. Below the call are criminal charges you risk by not appearing. Perception. All in print so small it could be considered downright cute. Field autopsy. A dozen pages of thin copy paper. Bright red in color. You see the parameters of a deceased human form waiting to be filled in. Age, sex, condition of internal organs. Enough of these. Yes, all that remains now is to fill those forms and hand them to people. Fines for wrongdoers, interview requests for bad guys, and field autopsies to dead guys. Don't hand them to the dead guy. The rest of the stinking cellulose is much worse for wear. Being sandwiched between the board and the rest of the paperwork must have spared the fragile copier paper. Smell the ledger. The acidic stench of rotting food has rubbed off on the cellulose. and now forms the base of the experience. This base surrounded by a faint air of spoiled meat, the stuff of death itself, and then sprinkled liberally with the citrus zest of toilet cleaner. Perception, like the bits they put into, like the bits they put into public piss bowls. Probably called Fermi Discrete or Axel or something. At some point in its journey, this ledger has seen the inside of a public toilet. What toilet would that be? Remember when I said the smell of the upstairs bathroom was so rank they should have sent a poet to describe it? Is sprinkled liberally with citrus zest of toilet cleaner, a line this poet might have used? Why, yes it is! Among many other things, this cleaning tablet is used by the whirligig in rags. Perhaps that's where the ledger was dropped in the toilet. By you. And then they maybe cleaned it up and threw it out. Or I threw it out later. Sick of my own bullshit or whatever. Yeah, I think we're done here. Let's put the ledger away. Now that we've finished properly reacquainting ourselves with it for real. Should I be just getting another brain slot or should I be getting more skills? Ah! 50 points. No, I think I'm actually out of skill points. Yeah. For some reason I thought I already had a new one. I was wrong. Well, we've gone this far. This is where we started. I went up there for a bit, came back down here. It took him 10 minutes to drag me here from there. Weird. But okay. I guess I technically could have opened that thing up virtually anywhere. I wonder what kind of hooks that can have with parts of the story. Boy, this list of case things is getting very busy. Anyway. Wow. Map? Ah, it's these guys. These are found white checks. Those on white are available for you to try now. Huh. Yeah, this was a place where we previously mentioned the white checks. So these are various checks I can try that I've encountered that are still waiting for me to try again with my skills. And since they're a white check, I can try again, so it's kind of keeping tabs on them because they might be important to continuing the story. Interesting. Well, now that we've successfully found, via very careful detective work, my partner's car, I can now use his shortwave radio to do what I was supposed to do with that. Which at this point is a number of things, honestly. Before you stands a motor carriage. The bodywork is covered in blue and white livery bearing the number 57. Logic. This must be the infernal machine that tore you from oblivion. The Corpus Canema motor carriage. Open the door. In the cabin, you are welcomed by a set of steering levers, a radio microphone on a hook, a pulled-out toolbox under the seat, and the soft glow of the fuel preheater gauge. A scent of leatherwork and heavy fuel oils washes over you. Pull out toolbox. A metallic drawer slides out from under the seat and clicks into place. The tools inside are neatly organized. Take what you need, officer. It's going to be a long case. I'm not protective of my tools, like some men are. Empathy. He's clearly a little protective of his tools, but what can you do? Work is work. There's a pry bar, chain cutters, a flashlight, hand cranked, and that's it. You never know what you might need. Take the pry bar. The pry bar feels nice and cold in your hand, heavier than you'd think. Useful for opening all sorts of doors and lids. Take the rubber-handled chain cutters. The handles are long and sleek. Snap, snap, go the cutters in your hand. You can do good work with these. Cut chains, locks, and ropes, especially belts. Take the hand-cranked flashlight. It's robust, weatherproof, and well-made. Police issue, blue. Lets you see things in the dark you would otherwise miss. Also, I'm just preemptively worried that I might get kidnapped or trapped in some way at some point in the game, and it might be useful to have the ability to break out and or a light. Like if I get trapped in a tunnel somewhere, I don't know. You never know what a game might bring at you. Let's push it back in. The pull-out toolbox slides back into this nest. Preheater gauge casts warm glow on the steering levers and the radio and its hook. Let's not drive. Let's turn on the headlights. Kim, how do I turn on the headlights? He turns the preheater on, waits, takes out his keys, and says, "Alright, ready. I turn, you press start. It's next to the preheater. Press engine start." The dashboard lights up with orange glow. Interesting sound. Rounds per minute gauges jump, and the engine of Kupri Kanima comes to life with a whiny growl. Like a leopard, waking from its sleep, yawning and roaring at the same time. Press the button labeled headlights. Lights unfold with a little click, casting electrical light onto the ground before the vehicle. There you go. I'll turn them off from the remote once you're done. We just need to stand in front of the machine now. There's a strange sort of faith system involved in having to turn the lights of your own car on and walking in front of your car, which is currently on, and just hope nobody else takes it or whatever, but also you're just inherently walking to the one part of the vehicle you inherently don't want to be at, logically. It's just interesting. Let's take a look. So now that I've got it on. It'd be rude to do radio stuff right now. As you hold up your ledger's clip under the headlamp, an iridescent hologram appears, a street grid, and the veins of a great river. A familiar sensation watches over you. There she is, Revicol West. There's a note of pride in the lieutenant's voice. Around the borders of the watermark are dozens, no, hundreds of micro perforations. Look at the perforations. There are many of them, and they are divided into 3 separate rows. Tally up the rows. The first row has 18 dots. Not bad. Compared to what? What about the next one? The next is the longest. It runs all the way around the border and then some. Count them individually. Morale? Okay. Visual calculus success. You count 216 perforations. Considering that nice large number, a wave of pride washes over you, though you can't say why precisely. What about the last row? The last row has 3 perforations. 3. That's it. That's it. Hey Kim, what do these holes mean? Those are perforations. They represent your record as an officer in the RCM. They're your statistics, as it were. I should have guessed you keep a record. Officers often do. Let's take a look. Alpha male officers, who are proud of their numbers, often do. It's meant. The first row represents your years of service. 18 years. Okay, not bad at all. What did you do before you volunteered? Wait, 18 years I've done this? That's what it says. I might have guessed even longer based on your age. What did you do all those blissful years of your youth? quite a list, as it often is. Got drunk like a megastar? I walked the land telling whores and liars of the end to come. There are 9,855 days remaining. Thanks, Durance. Probably some boring office job, same as everyone else. I feel like I just went around apologizing all the time. Do you really think I have any idea? Yeah. Probably just a boring office job as everyone else. No shame in working your regular job, detective. Sometimes after a long day of doing this, I even envy it. Let's move on, shall we? The next row, the one that wraps all the way around, is your number of closed cases. Closed is good. It means finished. You've got, let's see. Wow. More than 200. 216 to be exact. Lieutenant nods with evident respect. It's quite a lot, even for someone who's been on the force for nearly 2 decades. Usually clearing more than 10 cases a year puts you in the 90th percentile of all RCM officers. So you're saying I used to be a super cop? Call it what you want. You were a valuable member of your precinct. Now, let's look at the last row. Right. Those are your confirmed kills. You've got precisely 3 perforations there. So I'm a killer. For an RCM officer, especially Precinct 41, which is in the Jamrock Quarter, it's rather tame. I mean that in a good way. There are certain officers who treat their kills like some kind of ghoulish game. If they do happen to solve a case, it's usually by accident. It's obvious the lieutenant doesn't think very highly of these officers. But it seems as though you are, or at least were, one of the good ones. So we have that to be thankful for. How do you handle the strain? Everyone has their own method of coping. Some more effective, or self-destructive, than others. It gives you a meaningful look. Personally, I find it helps to keep up a few hobbies. I think that Kim, and by extension us, are both getting a new look at our protagonist, and maybe gaining a little respect for them. 18 years on the force, over 200 cases closed, and relatively few kills by the standards of all this. I mean, every kill is a tragic disaster, and a real problem that the United States has is that the police force is heavily militarized, and they're kind of trained to see everyone as a threat, and that makes them very jumpy, and that makes it much more likely for a lot of deaths to happen that could have otherwise been avoided on all sides. Because violence is often escalated to way too quickly. So somebody that's supposed to be in one of the districts known for being a problem, only having 3 kills, that's promising at least. We don't know the kills and what they mean. We don't know how our character dealt with them either. They could have been shootouts where somebody was killed in self-defense because it was a big bad problem, or they could have been more questionable. It could have even been why he was drinking. Maybe kill number 3 happened like 4 days ago or something when he came here to investigate. Although nobody's talked anything about me killing people around here, so it's probably not a recent event. Although I haven't talked to that many people yet. I've talked to like 4 people. So we'll see. Like what? Oh, this and that. Let's not get into it now. Maybe I should find a hobby. Why not gardening? You've already got the gloves. He points to your yellow gardening gloves. Have you ever killed anyone, Kim? Yes, he says, declining to elaborate. Thanks for this. The lieutenant nods. Look at the street grid. The rectangular watermark is overlaid with the logo of the RCM, and yet the major arteries of Revenkol are all recognizable. They shimmer in the Kanima's headlights. Oh my god, that's where the map's been waiting this whole time? Do I finally get a map I can use? Wait, look around you. A rat brazenly darts past you and disappears amongst the stopped lorries. In the distance, a child somewhere shrieks. A woman reprimands her in a voice no quieter than the child's cry. Ah, Martinez. He smells the air and says, "Where are we on this?" Point to the map. Let me see. He takes the ledger for a moment and inspects it. Right here, he says. His finger near the top of the map, on a segment of coast jutting out into the great ocean. I'm sure I've seen worse. Oh yes, Coal City, Le Raum, the burnt out quarter. Okay, let's go. Right. I'll go turn off the lights. He presses the remote control on the key. You can now see your statistics on your journal page right on the task description. Autosave. Do I have no map though. I kind of thought that. You'd think you could have a map by shining a light on the thing. If only we had a flashlight that was the right setup or whatever. Statistics. Name unknown, rank unknown, officer profile. 216 cases solved, 3 people killed, 18 years in service. This is interesting. So we have 3 points of Superstar Cop, 0 points in Apocalypse Cop, 0 points in Sorry Cop, 2 points in Boring Cop, 3 points in Communist, 0 points in Fascist, 0 points in Ultra Liberal, and 1 point in Moralist. 4 points in Good Cop, Bad Cop, 0 points in Honor. Interesting. The game's gonna score me now. It's revealing to me that it's been scoring me the whole time. We have a pry bar. A red-tipped pry bar has Carson T Heavy Duty engraved just below the handle. It is satisfyingly heavy and perhaps one of the most useful tools to carry around. All the more reason not to just leave it in the car. Chain cutters. The meanest looking pair of cutters you've ever seen. Made in Gottwald by Washroom Werkswege. No chain, wire, nor barbed fence will ever stand in your way again. They look hungry, ready to chew steel. Flashlight. A police flashlight bearing the logo of Grundstellung RAO. The small dynamo packed inside the handheld illumination device theoretically gives you the ability to produce a tiny amount of electricity anytime, anywhere. Oh. The ability to create electricity anywhere beyond just light. Wonder what we could like hook it up to and how we could use this. Interesting ideas being proposed around here. You know, we'll get to the radio in a second here. I'll get back to the radio in a moment. But we were told that the kitchen opens at 13 o'clock. Or that it's locked until 13 o'clock or whatever. So I figure I should take a look-see at the kitchen that I've... Who's this guy? Oh, we'll get to him in a bit. Anyway, we were going to investigate the kitchen. Now that I've dug through the garbage, is the perfect time to enter their kitchen. The dishes are drying. They smell of chemicals and pine trees. An aroma of spices, alcohol, and tomato hangs in the air. Ooh, that's gonna be hard. I'm just gonna pretend that it's not a special letter, because I don't know how to pronounce that letter. Gorasi Quebec. A thin man is smoking below an exhaust hood, occasionally sipping from his mug. This must be the Whirling's cook. As you step in, he nods towards the table and says something in a completely foreign language. The only words you can make out are Gorisi and Kubek. Okay, it's definitely not his name. Whatever you do, please don't call him Gorisi Kubek. Please, it's not funny. Hello, sir. Got time for your questions? Got time for a few questions? The man puts his cup down and replies something, his left hand drawing arcs in the air. You've got some impressive pots there. He smiles and bangs his ladle against each of the pots in turn. It's almost like music, especially with the sounds of assorted dishes boiling and simmering on the stove. I don't think I need anything else. Stay masculine. Alright. I straight up can't talk to him. Maybe it's a fake out. Maybe he's the murderer. You see a heavy steel door with a prominent dimple lock. It's painted blue. Touch the door. The cobalt blue surface feels rough to the touch. The stainless steel is door flush with its frame on every side. Is door flush? If that's a term, I've never heard of it. The idea of something being door flush. Old cobalt paint. Rough on the fingers. 40, 50 years since this was painted, maybe. It leads to a side building adjacent to this one. The old building next to this. Half ruined. Whatever's behind it must be older. I wonder where this door leads. You do? Lieutenant regards you with a patient skepticism. It's a door in the back of the kitchen. Why do you care where it leads? The winch. Outside. In the backyard, remember? No. No? Your fingers do. My fingers remember the winch because they want to use it. They're so desperate to use it. I might be able to use that with the corpse situation. There's a winch outside on the roof, like that of a small elevator. Well, if there was a winch, I suppose we could look into it as a side investigation. It's hardly a side investigation. You already have a name for it. That's why they said it. I was wondering why. I was confused by this line. You already have a name for it, but it's because in one of the answers they're calling it behind the blue door. He's gonna name it. This will waste the shit out of my paper. The door and the main investigation will merge into a stereo investigation. If you say so. He looks at the door, then you. Gart is the person to ask about this, the cafeteria manager. Try to push on the door. The door does not budge. I took that long to try pushing it. That's a lot of quests. Who put the clothes in the trash? Who else has access to the trash? Where's the rest of the armor? But it's supposed to be the jolly mask at the troubadour at the harbor gates. Supposedly knows something about it. That's one of the people I'm supposed to call on the radio. Get the boots off. Ask about the tattoos meaning. Ask the harbor. Access the harbor and ask for Claire's help. Everett Claire's help. I'm trying to get the body down. Apparently Everart Claire is the person I can talk to. I don't know where I got that name from. Those pants I can buy. And the secret passage. You never know how important it might be. You never know. All I know is that this guy over here loves me.
Can I help you?
He arches an eyebrow. I thought the cafeteria manager. Oh, this one. There's a mysterious blue steel door in the back of the kitchen. Oh, yes, that door. Sure. There's nothing mysterious about it. It's just a door. He shrugs. Do you know what's behind it? Do you have... No, I don't have the key. I don't know how to get there, and I don't care, either. It's not like I've been wondering about it for 10 years. It's just the Frit warehouse, probably. Sounds like we've been wondering about it for 10 years. Or some boring storage space with a bunch of old junk and dust. Junk and dust. He runs his finger across the counter to check for dirt. Composure. He's attempting to maintain an air of indifference. It's absolutely not convincing. That's what I thought. So he's obsessed over that door. I think you'd like to know what's back there. Fine, okay, a little, he shrugs. But my job doesn't leave me time for wondering about one locked door in one of the cafeterias I manage. Don't you manage these places? Shouldn't you know what's in the back door? Isn't that kind of potentially a bad thing? What if they're like fencing stuff back there? So I haven't opened it. I have cleaned the whole place 100 times over, though, after the animals, and I haven't found a key, so good luck with that. He doesn't have the key. But he wants to know what's back there too, which is really amusing to me. He's obsessed over it. I can't do any cool tricks with my cool lockpicking fingers. It'll give eventually. I just gotta wear down its hit points. That's a bummer. I've got my special lockpicking skill that I'm really good at. So I was hoping for a bit more. Maybe not so much luck this time, though. Still, there's a new person in this room that wasn't here last time. Who the hell are you? It's all about money, you know. He doesn't care. Alright. And I think I still don't have anything to talk to the lady about. And is this the cafeteria box? I take it this is the back room we've heard about. Or I'm supposed to figure out who's got the exclusive room. Alright, well that didn't amount to much for now. But we do have a new mystery. The secret back room. How do you get there? Well, maybe we'll never know. Maybe I'll find out literally next hour. Who knows? It's crazy. The street... the street sign reads, "Fuck the police." Pigs go home. The street name's illegible. Okay, so they have known that I've been staying here, and they've been leaving signs about how much they don't like me. So, that's happening. I've made some kind of ripple here already. Let's pick up the radio. The frequency tableau lights up, and a green button labeled Prime line glows like a feline eye. Then you hear something. The soft purr of electrical kittens, radio waves cast far and wide over the metropolis. A woman's voice greets you through the static. This is Precinct 57. Hello, Lieutenant. How may I assist you? Hello, Alice. Please assist our colleague from the 41st Precinct here. I'm putting him on. Composure. Operating the radio is easy. Just be confident. You've probably done it 1,000 times before. Come in, Delta Town. This is Firewalker copy. Oh my god. Come and dispatch, come and dispatch. We're already talking to them, sir. It's fine. Hi, Alice. This is Officer. This is the officer from 41st Precinct speaking. Nice to meet you. This is Officer Alice Dimitri, Precinct 57. How may I help you? A voice replies on the radio. I still don't know my name. Somebody tell me my name. Interfacing. Under the green Prime line, a yellow Saved button catches your eye. I wonder what Kim's default radio station is. Not now. Or press it now. Interfacing, you're gonna get me in trouble here. Oopsie. As always, it's DJ's Mesh and Flacchio, and you're listening to Speed Freaks FM, bringing you to the hottest, nastiest, most vulgar. A flock of seagulls takes off nearby, startled by the roaring radio. Right away, the lieutenant reaches into the cabin and turns off the radio. He's not looking at you as he says, "Someone must have been messing with the radio, or maybe it picked up a random frequency. You wanted the prime line, right?" Speed Freaks FM, huh? Oh, is that what it was called? He's trying hard to act surprised. Reaction speed. Go for it. Turn the radio back on while it's still on Speed Freaks FM. Right, you don't want to get into this. No problem. Nothing to get into, really, but sure. Let's focus on the important things. He passed the motor carriage. This is Precinct 57. Can I connect you to someone? The voice on the shortwave repeats. Could you run a serial number on a pair of armored boots for me? Sure, officer. What's the number? And the make of the armor if you know it. E50-100-1000. I make the model of the armor. The make and model of the armor is Fairweather T500 VE. Got it. I'll contact the ICP database immediately. Call back tomorrow. Hopefully they'll have dug up something useful by then. Tomorrow? That's gonna take a bit. Alright. Encyclopedia. The International Collaboration Police, ICP, the Insane Clown Posse, is an intersolary. That's not what I'm used to it at all. An intersolary law enforcement service. The crown jewel in the Mora Lintern diadem. Fuck. The Mora Lintern diadem alongside EPIS and the coalition government. Intersolary. Interisolary. Whoops. Isolary would suggest isolation. If you Google the word interisolary, the top thing you get is a tweet about Disco Elysium. I don't think this is necessarily... And maybe I'm not crazy for thinking this is a weird word, because there's only 2 pages of Google results, and all of them are Disco Elysium Google results, as far as I can tell. So this is not a normal word. Okay, so I'm not just getting cop card here. Interisolary. Huh. Because inter would often suggest some level of connection, while isolary would, I feel like, would suggest the opposite of connection. It seems we're deep in jargon, which is what the encyclopedia does. Have you heard back? We haven't even hung up yet. So duty set tomorrow. Can you connect me to the 41st precinct? I have something I need to report. Just a second, officer. He puts you on hold, the static crackling softly like a bonfire. After a while, you hear an old man greet you from the radio. His ratty voice is oddly familiar. 10-2, 10-5. This is 41st. Come in. Over. The man uses relay code. You got this. You're a cop, and cops know relay code. 10-4, Station 41. I've got an urgent business. Over. 10-4. Message received. 10-5. Relay message. What's your status? Over. Just reporting in. Over. 10-18. State your message, sir. I need to report my badge missing. The lieutenant's eyes go wide. But you've said... He shakes his head. Never mind. 10-9. Over. My badge, I can't find it anywhere, basically. It's gone. 10-4. Message received. This is a very serious situation. I need to 10-22 the captain. Over. Is it him? A dry voice asks in the background. What does he want? Says he lost his badge and needs to report it. What? He lost his badge? Hey, who is this? This is Communications Officer Jules Pedot, sir. Over. No, the other one. You mean your partner? Over. What is he saying? My partner is Jean Vicamer, apparently. He's asking who you are. I'm his goddamn partner. It's your partner, Satellite Officer Vicamer, sir. Over. Did he lose his memory along with his fucking badge? The man in the background sounds like he's losing his patience. Who lost it? Who lost his badge? Says Chester McLean. Oh my god, this has become a big thing. Dick fucking Mullen, who do you think? My name's Dick Mullen? Or is that... He's making a joke about names. It's Officer Dick. He tries to speak through laughter. Mullen from the bestseller Dick Mullen of the Lost Identity. Dick Mullen is not your name. It's the name of a fictional detective who would not lose his badge. Ha ha. Officer has lost his badge. Ha ha. Like I'm the first cop to ever misplace his badge. He says this has probably happened to other policemen before him. And laughs sarcastically. He's just communicating all these details back and forth. Oh god damn it. Is he fucking kidding? The whole station's gonna be dicked for this. Satellite Officer Vicamer is wondering if you might be joking, and adds that this tarnishes the reputation of the entire station. Over. Mullen dicked us. Can we just move on? I want to get it reported and be done with it. 10-4, I hear you, officer. I'm just going to make a note here that you are in pursuit of your misplaced badge. Over. Fuck me. Mac, come here. You gotta hear this. Dick Mullen lost his badge. Oh my god, there's so many people here. What's going on? Super Cop here lost his badge. He lost his what now? His badge. He lost his goddamn fucking badge. Enough with this now. I have other things to discuss. 10-9, come again. I didn't get that. Over. The animated conversation in the back is making it difficult for him to hear you. New heights, even for Captain Sober. Ask him... The speaker gasps for air. Ask him if he lost his gun, too. The room roars with laughter. Do I have my gun? Uh-oh. Sergeant Torson wants to know if you lost your gun, too. Over. Half-light. Trivial success. Check your pockets. Check your... Holy fuck. You don't know where it is, do you? Oh my god. We actually don't know where my gun is? This is a problem. What is half-light? Let the body take control. Threaten people. What? Cool for high-strung investigators. Shoot now, ask questions later, cops. Surprise haters. Half-light is your fight or flight response. Gotcha. So it's my reflex, kind of. Uh-oh. Wow, what a time to realize I don't know where my gun is. I don't have my gun? No, it's gone. It's not fucking on you. 10-9, come in, officer. Did you get my question? We were wondering if you have your gun. Drama medium. Convince them you didn't lose your gun. Good luck, drama. You fucked me. You fucked me hard. Even before you can get the words out, everything gets scrambled in your brain. No, of course I didn't lose my gun. Fuck it. I didn't lose my gun. He says he didn't lose his gun. Or his fun. Whatever that means. What is wrong with this man? Ask him to describe it. His gun. Not his fun. Just the gun will do. He laughs. Satellite Officer McLean requests a description of your weapon. Over. It's a gun. What can I say? A regular goddamn murder weapon. You know how they are. Bang bang. He says it's just a regular gun. Sounds like he's being deliberately vague. Detective Mullen has done it again. Where's my gun? The speaker crudely mimics your voice. Dear God, he lost his gun. Oh my, I can't, The man succumbs to laughter again. This isn't really a laughing matter. Mac can face the giant of Coco Noor by himself, but Disco here made him piss his pants. Oh, fuck, he lost his gun. Ask him if he still has a wiener. I'm not going to. Ask him. Sergeant Torson here is wondering if you're still in possession of your genitalia. Over. I don't need to listen to this firewalker. Out. I've been bullied out of talking to these people. The silence is almost deafening as you flick off the switch, severing your connection. That did not go well. I guess the important thing is that you followed protocol and reported your lost items. Did we need anything else here? Oh. Yeah, BRB, I'm just going to prepare myself emotionally for the other calls I need to make. Next one being Sylvia or Silvio or whatever. Next episode. That's a problem for next episode. Oh, you fool. We just got this far before you even realized your fucking gun is missing. Ha 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 ha.